The very time trial bike that can make Pogačar go supersonic. And it's no wonder with what it has in its arsenal. Let's have a look. So, the UAE Team Emirates are of course using the Italian brand Colnago as part of their campaign for a back-to-back Tour de France win. But what about the time trial bike it will use again, like they did when Pogačar decimated everybody on stage 5? The wind cheating machine itself is called the Colnago K.One. A very unusual name, but doesn't matter. What does matter is this thing works. One thing for certain that stands out is the single chain wheel approach Pogačar has chosen. This is obviously a personal choice for most time trial enthusiasts, as well as non-time trial enthusiasts will obviously opt out for the 2 chain wheel option. But the use of this chain wheel is a sound theory, as it will cause the chain to be straighter no matter what in any gear, which will cause less watts from the loss of friction. Also, the chain wheel is not like most chain wheels, because most chain wheels will have gaps in them. This is usually because of weight, because obviously the more spaces in most places, this will in theory drop weight, but weight is not really an issue here, it's aerodynamics, and the reason why it's covered is because of that reason, to obviously decrease CDA, and less CDA, faster he will go. Simples. Speaking of the chain wheel, we can see he's using a super rare brand that is the Campagnolo series, that has not won much Tour de France editions. In fact, Pogačar is the second to win a Tour with them. The first was Nibali in 2014. Here of course as well, the chain wheel has a power meter. This is clearly shown in the spider part if you look very closely, which is one of the most accurate ways to measure a person's torque in the pedals. So they really spared no expense there to make sure that he gets the most accurate data possible. Speaking of the pedals, they are part of the Look brand, so they will be using Look Clio cleats rather than the usual Shimano brand that most riders will probably be using. And looking at the clearance for the wheels, this is very well articulated to ensure that there is drag reduction, even if it is even just a little bit. And I mean, look at how close those wheels are to the seat stays and the seat post. It's actually quite extraordinary. With all that watts comes great need to reduce the drag. And the biggest drag of course is our body. And that's why the bar extensions are important here. Using the latest updated version every pro uses now, that takes the shape of the rider's arms. These are unbranded, so I can only assume that the UAE have basically custom designed these themselves. Not to mention they are more elevated, as this helps drops the body down a little further naturally. One thing that impresses me and puts a smile on my face is the use of the rim brakes, and it's also the way they put them on the bike that makes me smile. It's no secret that rim brakes are the better option for aerodynamics, as most scientists will tell you that use the wind tunnels to test this kind of components. But besides that, what makes me smile is the way they have placed them actually, and that is they are very hard to spot from an angle like this. That's because they have literally been moved within the forks of the bike, where most rim brake bikes are fully exposed at the front. This is something I'd like to see on most road bikes in the future, and of course the back brakes are well hidden underneath the seat post to make it look less messy and more sleek as well as aero as it could possibly be, because there's nothing more horrible than seeing back rim brakes on seat stays. I mean, that's so 2005. And of course, before you all go to the comments and moan, yes, of course, they will be using the rim brakes because of course it's easier to change the wheels in case of a puncture. Finishing off with the wheels, there is no doubt that these are some of the slipperiest wheels in the peloton. Using Vittoria Corsa Speed tubular tyres, these, for one, will have the lowest rolling resistance on the market, and the wheels are just the standards for the World Tour team level. Using deep section wheel at the front, that is the Bora WTO 77 wheels from Campagnolo, and at the back, of course, they're using the disc wheel Bora Ultra Campagnolo. This is clearly one of the most aerodynamic TT bikes out there right now in the pro peloton. But what do you think? Is this the TT bike to destroy all the TT bikes? Will Pogačar win again on the final time trial of this year's Tour de France? Well, why don't you comment down below and then let us know, because we would like to hear your thoughts on this. And of course, before you go, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Cycling Dane channel. And of course, next to it, click the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever we post new videos every time. And of course, I'm going to finish up here. And as always, have a nice day.